The fact that he told you he doesn't have sex on the first date, but still tried.
Yeah.
I believe that women should not evaluate the man based off the pursuit or the attempt. It's how he handles the rejection, okay? Because, as pointed out in your example, it's true. It happens all the time where men can go into a situation saying, I will not try to have sex with this woman. But impulse, desire, attraction takes over, and they push a little bit further than they planned. And like you said, a lot of women will perceive that as you played a game to try to do that. And it's like, no, it just, in that moment, that's what happened. How you will differentiate the man who's playing a game or the man who's genuine is if you tell him no, does he respect it? And if you tell him I want to wait, is he patient with you? A man who's genuinely trying to get to know you, who's serious about you, who likes you, is at least willing to be more patient, all right? Not every man's willing to wait till marriage or whatever the case may be, but he's gonna be more willing to wait with you than he would with the woman he's not serious about.
I feel like all good sexual encounters start with consent, of course, but also mutual intent. Why do we want to do this? Is it because we're trying to go to sleep? Or are we trying to get pleasure? Are we trying to see if we have chemistry for a long-term connection? And so I think it can work out if you are able to establish those two off the top. Now, I'm a big fan of probability, and so I'm going to say that it is possible that you can have sex with somebody on the first date and see success. As a matter of fact, there was a study that said that 38% of young people now have sex before the first date or have had sex before the first date before. So I think that there is likely somewhat to have
before the first date?
How do you do that?
How does that work?
How does sex not qualify as a date? I mean, there's some intimate things you can do on a first date, candle at dinner, but when you're naked with someone...
Well, I guess what they're saying is that a date is the intention to go and bond through communication, through doing an activity, and whereas if I'm just saying, hey, we're getting together just for sex, like you wouldn't...
Or you're at a party
yeah,
and
exactly,
something happens.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
How many?
Hey, that works too.
Okay.
What was that percentage?
It was 38%. This was a study commissioned by Match, and it was saying 38% of single people have had sex before a first date.
Okay, so
I think it can possibly lead to, I think likely not, so it's not my advice to go that route. And I think that finding out about sexual compatibility, the real things you should look for should actually happen in conversation, not in the bedroom.
If she
we might get in the side chat, bro. My daughter is 15 years old. Relax, bro. Relax, bro. I was using an example. I was using an example.
You don't want to think that way, but you fucking on somebody's daughter who probably had the same mindset you. My daughter ain't no hoe.
And therefore, I would not call that person's daughter a whore. I would call her who I'm fucking on. That's what I would call her. That's what I'm fucking on. There ain't no whore. That's a woman.
I understand though. Why is it just like if a woman pulls up to a one night stand like and she's a hoe? What about the man? Because it take two.
Double standards.
Oh, patriarchy.
Simple answer. I didn't make the rules. I'm not saying I agree with that shit, but that's why I answer the question.
I know you don't have an issue with patriarchy, do you, ma'am? We already discussed that. I know you don't have an issue with it, ma'am.
I don't have an issue with what? Patriarchy?
Yeah, I
know
you
you call
don't.
the patriarchy, fucking, where my gavel at? Patriarchy. Every goddamn thing is patriarchy. Me. Her. I'm her. No, but for real, like, how y'all not whores? Y'all spread the things.
Look, you can call us that if you want to. It's not gonna hurt our feelings.
Oh,
we still
okay.
gonna
don't hit the same
feelings to be called home.
You call me.
Okay, got it. So we just got to kind of like be like,
hey, look, Ray, I'm a reformed man whore. I'm a reform. I'm changed and saved by the Holy Ghost with the spirit of the blood. You know,
the Holy Ghost.
Yeah,
look,
but I'm gonna go be a hoe for my wife here after this live. I'll take
You're fucking right. I think to answer your question, it's the same reason why if a man and a woman have sex, the man fucked her and she got fucked. It ain't like, that's just how we talk.
I think if you have more than sex to offer, things can turn into a real relationship. I think a lot of times some women don't have anything but sex to offer. And I think with some men who do marry their hoes or whatever, maybe they found a connection with that person. And that's why they continue the relationship after the one night stand. So if you're a woman of value and morals, I mean, it might work out. And just because you slept with a person that night, that don't mean that you a hoe. Hoes get paid. So if they're not paying these women for their services, they're not hoes.
All right, hold on.
Millions. What are you talking about?
Wait, what?
My attention.
I didn't hear you.
Beat. That's what we gonna do. Okay. So yeah, when they say we hoes as a collect, they cheat. We gotta call them cheap because that be hurting their feelings when we call them cheap.
Not mine.
Thank you, Hank. You
All right,
gotta
we're gonna go to check it out. We're gonna go to Ali, and then we're gonna hop into this Nick Cannon.
I agree with a lot of people. It's not a deal breaker. I think a one night stand is very similar to a high risk credit card. Has the probability of building up into something depending on how you use it. It's a luxury item, right? So my college roommate, my college roommate was a big ass hoe in college, but she's actually just got engaged, and I know she met him at a one night stand because she was supposed to meet me here in Chicago for a conference, and I'm like, "Where are you at?" And she's like, I'm engaged, and they're like, "Doing great." So I'm not gonna knock it. Really depends how you use that credit card. It's high risk, though. It's high risk. Only $300 credit limit when you first use it, so it's not going to be a great purchase. So it's not going to be a great I don't care what anybody says. It's the first night, so that's
I don't care.
Hey, when that 300 credit card limit and that's all you got to get some gas.
Right, but see,
that's everything.
Chrissy and John Legend, that's not even fair. They were both already they already had the black card. So it's just like they're American Express. Like this is different. You can't compare it, So.
But of course, as an OBGYN, the first thing I think about is sexually transmitted infections. And I feel as though when you first meet somebody, they may not be as invested in you. So they may not be willing to disclose what STIs they may have had or STIs that they have that they may transmit to you. And of course, I know you would say, wear a condom, practice safe sex, but we all know that even if you put on a condom exactly the way you're supposed to, some things are skin-to-skin contact, so you can still get infections. But assuming that people say that, okay, I'm willing to take the risk and I understand all of that, but I want to have sex, I think you have to make sure that you are on the same page, because if you get emotionally attached very easily, then maybe having sex on the first date isn't the thing for you.
Absolutely, and I think that it's massively important to have those conversations to say, okay, what am I looking for? And to be honest with yourself about what it is that you're looking for, because yes, sex has two primary biological functions, which is to bond or to procreate. And you got to make sure that you got both those things covered if you're just casually interacting with people in that way.